On tonight's edition of The Best Times, we go one-on-one with the new president of AARP Tennessee. You'll meet a couple who are redefining retirement, and you'll find out how you can become fit after 50. Funding for The Best Times is provided by... Since 1988, the H.W. Durham Foundation has been focused on aging issues, providing grants to programs like The Best Times to enrich and improve the quality of life for our older citizens. The Best Times is the only monthly news magazine exclusively for the age 50-plus reader. Your copy is free at over 200 locations, with important stories and news you don't want to miss. The Best Times is always the best. Trezevant, a life care community, a celebration of life. The responsible decision for your well-being now and in the long term. And being responsible has never been such a hoot. TrezevantManor.org. Hello, I'm Chris Hardaway. Welcome to this edition of The Best Times, a series that looks at life after 50. Cleo Owens spent 32 years working for the Memphis branch of the Federal Reserve Bank. But now, in his retirement, he's taken on a new challenge as the volunteer president of the state AARP chapter. Recently, I sat down with him to discuss the issues facing older Tennesseans and AARP's goals for the future. AARP has really identified two different areas of concern to older Americans, the AARP members: financial security and health issues. Let's start off with financial security. And the big one there has got to be Social Security. What are AARP's concerns regarding Social Security as we move into the future?
Well, during this past year, we talked to our members all across the states and citizens of the state of Tennessee about some of those issues as to what were their concerns about Social Security. And the thing that kept coming up was, what are these proposals that the lawmakers in D.C. have on the table? You know, you hear bits and pieces about them, but you never really got the full burst of what was going on. We don't know what some of these proposals are. So we want for the lawmakers to put those proposals on the tables. Let's have a fair discussion about those and see what is reasonable and what is not reasonable, and then we can move forward with that. Social Security was not supposed to be the primary retirement source of income, that you should start saving at an early age. And for those baby boomers who are out there and those people who are just starting to work, my word to them is save now, because in the future you will need them. We know that Social Security needs some changes made to it, and I think the majority of the people would agree that changes need to be made. But tell the lawmakers, we want the lawmakers to put those proposals on the table so we can talk about it and get a fair understanding of where they're coming from. We know changes need to be made so the system will remain sovereign for our children and grandchildren.
Yeah, in fact, changes have been a part of Social Security's history throughout its 75 plus years. There's always been changes. What changes would AARP be pushing for, be in favor of?
Well, I can't specifically say what they would be until we get them on the table and find out what they really are, what the meat of those problems are. You know, there have been some discussions about certain changes, but at this point, without knowing what those lawmakers have on the table, we're just going to see what they put on the table, and we're going to side with the proposal which is best for the elderly and those our members.
Let's talk about another aspect of financial security, and that is job security, which is a major issue, especially for that over 50 up to retirement age worker, and now, of course, even the retirement age worker, the Social Security recipient who needs to continue working. Job security is a major issue.
It certainly is. I can remember years ago in my previous life, we had a new president of the Federal Reserve Bank came to the Memphis branch, and one of the first questions he asked, who thinks they have job security? Well, faces dropped, people looked at one another and said, well, you know, you kind of thought you did, but that wasn't the message he was delivering to us. Last prediction I heard that a person who's starting out their career will probably change jobs 3 to 5 times in their working career. So you got to be able to save and adjust as far as your training and skills are concerned to stay abreast of what's going on and to have some viable source of income throughout your career. Now, we know that people have reached age 65 and they can't afford to retire because they have done the calculation on what their Social Security would be. They talked to their financial advisor and saw how much money they would be able to rely upon during their retirement age, and they can't do it. So they work longer to put off drawing Social Security so they can earn more or get more in Social Security when they do retire. So it is a major problem. People are working longer. They have to, if you're just starting out, make sure you stay abreast of your industry, be able to make those adjustments, go back and retrain and so forth.
Let's talk about the second issue of health, which of course is a major issue for anyone as they age. And health means Medicare.
Yeah.
What are AARP's goals regarding Medicare?
Well, for the past 15 years, we have been working with state lawmakers and so forth to get some of the money that they have directed to nursing homes, directed to long-term care. We found out that people like to get care where they live, in their neighborhoods, in their communities, and so forth. And we reached the choices law passed, so that enabled people to get these kind of assistance from the various firms out there who provide assistance for people who have health issues. Now, caring is one of the major roles in Tennessee this year. We know for a fact across the nation, 1.1 out of every 4 persons is providing caring for either a spouse, a parent, a friend, or a neighbor. And we know that in Tennessee, that 1.6 million people are providing that kind of assistance. And over a period of time, we're talking about $11 billion worth of care that is being taken place. So we're trying to improve those issues. We're working with the Aging Commission, the state lawmakers, to try to make those conditions better. We want the people to get the resources that they need when they stay at homes and in their community to have adequate health care or whatever the case may be.
Speaking of state AARP, are there other specific state goals that you and AARP is working toward?
We spent the last year going across the state, talking to people. We had forums, we had conversations. We collected about 6,000 questionnaires about those proposals. This year, we're working toward finding out what proposals are on the table, what proposals are reasonable that we can deal with and bring back to the people, and let Congress be open about these issues, and let's discuss them, and let's not have them behind closed doors.
Let me get you to look into the crystal ball, because we've got a baby boom generation, a huge number of people that are well past 50, moving into retirement.
Sure.
The numbers of older Americans is going to grow dramatically
Right.
in the course of the next 20 years or so. What's the future going to look like in America?
It's going to be tough for those persons who aren't prepared, because as the population ages, more is being called upon for assistance for the aged. The way jobs are concerned, they're working today, and they may not be working tomorrow. They take jobs at lower pay than they had when they retired. Baby boomers are going to be in for a tougher time if they aren't prepared both financially, and got to be concerned about the rising health costs, because health costs keeps going up and up. They're talking about leveling out. Well, unless we can get to insight with some of the pharmaceutical companies to agree upon some source of stabilization as far as the cost, I don't see costs going down in that respect. So baby boomers have to be prepared, both financially. They have to also understand that their standard of living may be lower than what it was when they were working full-time in their career because of reduced income, reduced resources that they have available to them at their stage in their life.
Well, personally, what do you hope to achieve during your term?
Well, I hope to make AARP a resource and a viable vehicle for the elderly in Tennessee, in my position, and across the nation. I want people to know what AARP does. We're more than discounts. So we're out there fighting for laws that would make things better. AARP was founded on the principle of as people age with dignity and respect and have good financial health and security. And those principles are still alive today, and I want to drive those home and make sure people continue to look up to AARP as a viable resource for information regarding the elderly.
Cleo Owens, thank you very much for being on The Best Times.
Thank you, Chris.
For many people, the word retirement conjures up images of rest and relaxation, maybe some golf or gardening, or perhaps that dream vacation that you never had time for because of work. But for John and Joe Walt, the word retirement has an entirely different meaning.
One thing we never have found in the Bible is the word retire. So we feel very blessed and excited about what we're doing.
John is 82 and spent 55 years practicing law. Joe is 77 and after raising 5 children, found time to get a master's degree in English. What the Walts are doing in their retirement would put most of us to shame, and it starts here in Binghamton, at the corner of Walnut Grove and Tillman. With a bit of divine intervention, the Walts founded the neighborhood school in 1993.
I knew the Lord was calling me to start a school, and He wouldn't let me forget it, and I wanted to forget it. I didn't want to have any part of starting a school. August 31st, we had our first class. It was in the gym at Blessed Sacrament Church, and we had 15 students, and then the next year we moved to Tillman.
The school offers pre-kindergarten through 8th grade. 134 students attend classes that are limited to 15 students per class. Parents pay a modest $100 in tuition, with the bulk of the school's operating expenses coming from grants and donations from businesses and individuals. And uniquely, the school has 28 dorm rooms where children live on campus with the permission of their parents. The goal is a focused learning experience that's designed to change young lives.
We want our children to have the opportunities for all the for everything that they can possibly learn and experience that would benefit them throughout life, because many of our children have been very limited in their experiences.
Most inner city tuition schools are where the parents are committed to and dedicated to giving those children an opportunity. Our children don't have that advantage. We try to do the same thing with them.
On the outskirts of Moscow, Tennessee, sits another testament to the Walt's definition of retirement. The Country Place is a Christian retreat built 35 years ago with the help of the Walt family.
With the Country Place, we thought we were just going to have a place for young life kids to go out and spend the day and be able to get out of the city and have a good time. And immediately it grew and grew and grew.
The facility sits on about 30 acres with meeting rooms, activity areas including a pool, and dormitory rooms for up to 100 people. It's non-denominational and serves all ages. The summertime is dominated by kids, and adults use the facilities in the fall and winter. John Waltz spends 3 days a week at the country place.
He's the head gardener, and it is beautiful.
It is beautiful.
It's a
It really
beautiful
is.
place.
Like the neighborhood school, the country place is funded in part by donations. And the Waltz are excited to witness one of their dreams coming to reality, a 22-room adult facility called the Country Place Inn.
What we're building is an adult facility with a marriage ministry, emphasizing that there's so much problem with marriage in America today.
It's exciting. This has been something that we've dreamed of for many, many years, and now at last the ground is broken and they're going to be a reality.
Joe and John have always lived out their religious beliefs, but in 1984 they heard a special call.
We were out back praying, and as I say, we were not mission people at all. And we were kneeling down by a bench, and I said to her, girl, God called us to go to China.
Since 1985, the Waltz have gone on 3 mission trips to China, living there for a total of 4 years. Joe taught English and John taught American law, but some of their Chinese students were eager for more.
The people were anxious to hear about Jesus. All we did was make it known in class that we were Christians, we love Jesus, and if you all want to know more, come see us. And they did.
Nearly a decade after their first mission trip, the Waltz got another call.
In 9/11, after that, we felt God was calling us to go to Iraq.
They went to the northern province of Iraq in 2004 and stayed there for a year, teaching English and Bible study. They returned to Iraq in January of this year for 4 more months.
We just knew we were to go. We didn't even know what Kurdistan was when we went. But it turned out we were in the northern part of Iraq, and it turned out the city we were in, Sulaymaniyah, was a very safe city.
God gave us good health, and we go over, and the people in Iraq, there again, they wanted to know about Jesus.
Joe and John Waltz's definition of retirement has changed lives, here in this community and in China and Iraq. They answered a call, and it has given them blessings.
Well, first of all, when you know the call of the Lord, you better not turn it down. That's not a good thing to do. But it has meant that I look forward to every day.
The U.S. government reports that only 30% of adults age 18 to 65 are physically active on a regular basis. And the older we are, the more likely we are to be sedentary. Only 16% of adults over 65 reported moderate physical activity on a weekly basis. Now, we all want to stay healthy, so how can we become fit after 50? For 32 years, Mel Badorf worked in the tire business, and he carried around a spare tire of his own.
I weighed 212 pounds. I'm 5'7". That gives me a body mass index of about 29.5. 30 is obese, so I was borderline obese.
A few years ago, Mel began a second career as a personal fitness trainer. His first client was himself. Through gradual changes to his diet and a steadily increasing workout schedule, he managed to lose over 60 pounds.
I had 38-inch pants, but I needed probably bigger ones. I just wasn't going to buy them. It was hard to get the pants done, and now I put a pair of 30-inch jeans on or whatever, and there's extra room. That's a good feeling.
Mel didn't go from T-bones to tofu or from watching TV to running triathlons overnight. It took him almost a year to reshape his body, and he emphasizes that only a gradual change in lifestyle can produce lasting results.
The number one point, more important than anything else, is it is a lifestyle thing. Number two, baby steps, do it little at a time. If I can just do one thing, okay, do that one thing. Next week, I'll do another thing. And I'm going to pick things that are easy for me to do. When we were 20 or 30, we were accidentally in fairly good shape because we were 20 or 30 years old. Now, there's no accident anymore. Now we're paying for those years of a sedentary lifestyle. We're paying for those years of poor nutrition. And when you're 50 and above, most of us kind of come to the realization that we really need to do something while there is still time.
The keys to a healthy lifestyle are nutrition and physical activity. Slowly substituting healthy foods for the more unhealthy things we eat is Mel's diet regimen. It's all about the things your mother taught you.
Your mother taught you everything you need to know. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Most people don't eat it. Start to eat it. We know that we should cut back on red meat and fat and saturated fat. We know that trans fat is killing us. We should try to avoid that. We've known since we were in kindergarten that it's a good idea to have a snack mid-morning, snack mid-afternoon, so we don't get grumpy and so we don't go to a meal starving. All this stuff is really, relatively straightforward. It's just that we don't apply it.
The older we get, the more likely we are to live a sedentary lifestyle. And 34% of the 50-plus population is sedentary. That causes the body to deteriorate over time.
If you're not active, you have to know that you're getting weaker every day. Your bone density is going down every day. At 50, you're starting to pay a little bit for your inactivity. By 70 or 75, you're really starting to pay for it. And so it's critical that you not get any weaker or lose any more flexibility or capabilities.
Any exercise program for the 50-plus set should address two areas: cardiovascular fitness and strength training. Exercise also increases bone density, which declines with age. Men over 45 lose about 1% of their bone density every year. Women lose 2 to 3%.
Your bones will respond and become more robust in the same way that your muscles will. But we need to do resistance-based exercise to make that happen.
About 300,000 Americans die each year from diseases related to physical inactivity. Mel Badorf has a simple equation for staying healthy.
If you would get up and eat a good breakfast, eat a snack, eat a good lunch, eat a snack, eat a good dinner, and get a good level of activity, you will lose weight. When your lifestyle becomes healthy, you will become healthy.
The New England Journal of Medicine reported that poor physical activity was a better predictor of death than smoking, hypertension, and heart disease. Getting fit after 50 is serious business, but that doesn't mean it can't be fun. Have you ever heard of pickleball? This is the regular Friday morning session of pickleball at Germantown United Methodist Church. Pickleball originated near Seattle, Washington as a fun backyard alternative to badminton. It's played on a singles badminton court with the net lowered to 34 inches. The equipment is simple: a large paddle that looks like a giant ping pong paddle, and the pickleball itself, which resembles a wiffle ball. They play singles, doubles, and mixed doubles. First one to 9 points wins. John Struthers is the acknowledged father of pickleball in this area.
My wife and I retired and went up to Springdale, Arkansas, where I learned to play the game because I was getting too old for racquetball. And I learned it and loved it. And it was a lot of fun, which racquetball can not be sometimes. So when I moved down here to be closer to my son, I started it here. And it took a while to get it going, but once we got it going, and you get people hooked on it, and they just love the game.
Pickleball has been eagerly adopted by the 50-plus set as a great way to have fun and get exercise too. The youngest player on the court today is 53. The oldest is 80. John is 78 and a pickleball fanatic.
It's just a great game. It's fun. More than anything else, it's fun. People our age don't play, and we play here. It's for play. Nobody gets too serious about it, and it's just a good time.
But what about that name? What do pickles have to do with it?
And the way the word pickle came into it, their dog was named Pickle. And whenever they had a ball go out of the court, the dog would chase it, and they'd have to go after him and get the ball because they didn't have that many balls.
And there you go, pickleball.
Pickleball.
Want more information about life after 50? Then go to our website, wkno.org/besttimes, and email your feedback and story ideas to besttimes@wkno.org. Thanks for watching. I'm Chris Hardaway. Good night. Funding for The Best Times is provided by Trezevant, a life care community, a celebration of life. The responsible decision for your well-being now and in the long term. And being responsible has never been such a hoot. TrezevantManor.org. The Best Times is the only monthly news magazine exclusively for the age 50-plus reader. Your copy is free at over 200 locations with important stories and news you don't want to miss. The Best Times is always the best. Since 1988, the H.W. Durham Foundation has been focused on aging issues, providing grants to programs like The Best Times to enrich and improve the quality of life for our older citizens.